What's going on, guys? Anakin back again for another video today. Today is New Year's Eve right now currently, and now I'm going to count down my top 10 films of 2016. This year was a great year for comic books and nerd stuff, but so don't get mad at my totally biased list because look at all this crap behind me. Yeah, it's going to be totally nerd filled, but to start off, my very first one I'm going to have is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It was an awesome continuation, or not continuation, awesome prequel to the Harry Potter franchise, the book series, and the films franchise that I loved, and I've loved for years and years and years. It was so great to go back to that Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and I was so glad how they handled it. I thought Eddie Redmayne was great as Newt Scamander, and I can't wait to see more of these in the future. Up the Accountant. Now this was a different type of movie that I wasn't gonna see myself seeing, but as soon as I heard reviews of it and how people were saying it was Ben Affleck's, almost like John Wick or his own Jason Bourne or something like that, I was like, that is really intriguing. And watching the trailers and stuff like that, this is super really cool. And I didn't even know that this was about an autistic dude in this movie. And I thought this was so cool that we basically have an autistic superhero. Like, this was the closest thing you're probably ever gonna get to that. And that was so great to have John Bernthal, J.K. Simmons, and oh my gosh, and Ben Affleck in the same movie. I absolutely love this movie to death, and this was a great movie about autism and about how you could still a great action movie also. And I was just so pleased by this movie, and definitely one of my favorite performances of Ben Affleck. Number 8, X-Men Apocalypse. Now this movie was super cool because this is one of my most anticipated movies of 2016, mainly because it's a comic book movie, it's a comic book franchise, and I've loved all the X-Men. I actually have a review of this movie all the way in depth, so you can go ahead and check that out if you want to, but I super love this movie. I love Quicksilver. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved freaking Wolverine, man, that was super awesome. The only problem I did have about it was the actual main villain itself, Apocalypse, but if you want to get more into that, I do have my own review of that also. Next up, Suicide Squad. Definitely one of my favorite DC movies and one of my favorite movies of this year also because it made my top 10, and this movie was such a great... I feel like this was DC's Guardians of the Galaxy, which I do have an issue with that they did take one of Guardians of the Galaxy songs, which is also kind of funny. And I also do have a review of this movie also on my channel if you want to go check that out also. But it was such a... I just loved it. I really did. I thought the direction they took with this was awesome. I love Jared Leto as the Joker. I need to see a whole lot more of him. Margot Robbie was great. I'm glad to see that Will Smith didn't Will Smith this movie at all either. And I'm just super happy and looking forward to the next DC movie that's going to come, which is also Wonder Woman. Number 6, Doctor Strange. Oh my god, if anything out of this year was a trip, was just a mind trip, it was Doctor Strange. The effects were amazing. Everything, all the actors were awesome. I absolutely adored and loved Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, and I got into this actor, and I started loving this actor because he was cast as Doctor Strange. I knew him just as Khan in the Star Trek franchise, and then I went in and I watched some of his Sherlock, which I completely fell in love with Sherlock, and I've just been following his career ever since this movie came out, and it was surreal to finally see this movie that got me hooked in to love this actor so much, and to actually see his film that I've been waiting for so long, that I actually got into him because of this movie. It was so surreal, and a big plus of this movie was awesome also. The way they handle magic in the Marvel Universe is awesome now, and I cannot wait to see how they use them in Thor and in Avengers Infinity War. I cannot wait to see how they further integrate magic into the Marvel MCU. Alright, I said it was going to be a movie list, but too bad. I'm taking my number 5 spot for the 5 best films of the year. I'm going to throw in the Fortnite crossover for the CW as one movie, because this basically was a 3-hour movie, because I watched the 3 episodes, or I didn't really watch the 4th episode because that was just a super good episode, but I watched all of 3 of them as one cohesive story, and I thought this could be an amazing movie, and I'm counting this as a movie. This was so great, and to see all of our favorite characters from all 4 shows come together, and to be like, they did such an amazing job, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future. They had so many characters in this storyline, and you have You have aliens, heroes versus aliens. They have their own Civil War airport battle, which is awesome in itself. And this is one of the very first times that you really do see almost a TV Justice League. This is basically a Justice Society, and they actually kind of beat the movies to a TV Justice League. Technically, they actually kind of did, even though Justice League next year. I thought this was a great teaser for that, but this was an amazing storyline to go out through all the shows, and this was just so awesome, and I cannot wait to see how they are going to top it next year. Number 4, Arrival. This is definitely probably the most different out of all of the movies on this list, and it's basically because this movie it's a slow burn, but it's also an alien invasion movie, and it's not your Independence Day either. It's such a great movie because they have one of the best twists I've seen in a while. It's just an amazing movie. Amy Adams turns in a great performance. Jeremy Renner's also good in this movie. Forrest Whitaker's awesome in this movie too. But Amy Adams has such an amazing performance, and the fact that they're trying to figure out, instead of going to war with these aliens, they're trying to figure out what they're saying and trying to figure out their language, which is a great way to portray this movie. And just the way they shot this movie is beautifully shot. I believe the same guy that did the cinematography for this movie is also going to do the cinematography for Han Solo, which I cannot wait for also. But it's so great that we get a different kind of alien invasion movie, and this is so pleased to see this, and one of the best twists I've seen in a while. Number 3, the big 3, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. This is the movie, one of the movies that I've been waiting for years and years and years upon, and I cannot believe that this movie was actually, to see it with my own eyes for the very first time. It was amazing. This was even, I'd say, of 2016, this was my greatest film going experience. To see this movie in the theater, this is my favorite film experience going to see this. It was so great to finally see this movie in all its glory. And yes, people have problems with this movie. People have problems with Suicide Squad, but I think that I love this movie so much better. And the extended cut, man, this 3 hours of this movie, perfect. It is an amazing movie. I cannot believe how great Ben Affleck was as Bruce Wayne, as Batman, because I remember yelling at my computer screen saying I hated the casting of Ben Affleck, and I was so happy to see the continuation of Superman's storyline, and even to see Wonder Woman for the very first time with all of their amazing soundtrack and score. This is definitely my favorite soundtrack of the year. I still listen to this daily, and I still cannot believe how great of a movie Zack Snyder can give us, even though it wasn't critics were not happy with it, but the extended cut, a lot of people seem to be going around and loving that, and I'm super happy because I just love this movie as a whole, and I will defend this movie to the day I die if I have to, because I will always love this movie, because this is definitely a movie that I've been waiting for years and years upon, and I can't wait that I finally got to see it. Number 2, which one's it going to be? Captain America Civil War! Yes! Civil War is definitely has one of the most nerd out moments of the year. It has, I don't care, spoiler alert, if you have not seen Captain America Civil War, go watch it. Please, do yourself an amazing favor. It has one of the most amazing nerd out moments in the year. Spider-Man is one of my favorite movies, favorite superheroes of all time. And you have an Empire Strikes Back reference. You guys ever seen that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back, on the snow planet with the walking thingies? And you have him take down Giant Man, like how Luke and the Rebels took down the AT-AT. Oh my gosh, this was an amazing movie. And not alone that, this is a great adaptation of a superhero storyline, one of the greatest superhero storylines in Marvel history. And the fact that you can have all these characters, this was almost an Avengers movie. This had enough characters to be one, but it was still a Captain America movie and an Iron Man movie. Also, this movie had you switch sides. It had you want to think that this side's right, but if you haven't flipped off in this movie once or twice, then you probably didn't get the movie. But I was still Team Cap all the way throughout this movie, and I cannot believe how perfectly they executed Spider-Man in this movie. Because let alone that you have two sides of the Avengers literally split in half, and you have them going against each other. You have Spider-Man. I remember as a little kid thinking and asking my dad, "Dad, why can't a Spider-Man be in the Avengers?" And I was like, "Yeah, that dream came true, and I just, please, Fox, please give us Wolverine in an Avengers movie. Our lives will be perfectly executed as far as fans if you do that for us. Star Wars! Yes! Star Wars is my #1 movie of 2016. Star Wars Rogue One, or Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Rogue One anthology, whatever you want to call it. This was my favorite movie of 2016. And yes, I made it an awesome set of amazing sets of figures for this movie also. And yes, there are no Jedi in this movie, but there is one of the awesomest and one of the best Star Wars moments in history in this movie, with a certain some guy, I believe, right there and right here. Like, I don't want to, just go watch Rogue One if you have not seen this movie. This is one of the most geekiest movies that you could ever see, and yet they handled it like a war movie. They had I cannot believe how perfectly awesome this movie was, and the fact that it blended so well with Episode 4. If you go and watch Rogue One and then you go watch an Episode 4 right after it, you see and you feel a cohesive storyline for the very first time that I did not believe that any new movie can touch the original trilogy and make it feel more impactful or make it feel better and give you more to watch than Rogue One. Because yes, the prequels are awesome. I will love the prequels forever. But this movie really elevated Episode 4 to another level. It was so great. I loved it, and I cannot wait to see any more Star Wars movies. Just please give me more Star Wars. And the fact that you had so many great, I think this is, because I did see other movies like Warcraft and stuff like that, and this and Doctor Strange. This is the most beautiful looking movie I have seen all year, and that is saying something with Doctor Strange and Warcraft. This is the most beautiful movie I've seen all year. The visual effects were flawless with this movie, and I had so many times where I could not pick apart what was real and what was not. This was the most beautiful movie of 2016, and I cannot wait to see what more Star Wars movies come, and I just cannot believe that I got to see this movie, because years and years have been built on wanting to see more Star Wars movies. And this is the first spin-off movie, and Disney knocked it out of the park. And the fact, spoiler alert, they had the balls to kill every single character in this movie, and just awesome, amazing, greatness all around. And those are my top 10 movies of 2016, and one top 9 movies of 2016 in a TV crossover. But yeah, that is my video. Happy New Year's Eve, and I'm gonna have some other stuff about my Lego stuff that's gonna be coming up also later on today. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope, and go ahead and write down your list of top 10 movies of 2016. I would love to see. I know I did not see a lot of Oscar movies. I did see Arrival, which I really was anticipating seeing, but I did not see a lot of Oscar movies. Like I said, this was a very biased type of video, right? Because I have all this. I'm a huge nerd, and I would definitely, my list could contain a majority of nerd out movies of the year. So thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait for 2017 to start with another great 2017 of comic book movies to come.